Welcome back to Release Your Inner Power podcast. I am Shauna B. I am a life coach for women who are burnout prevention and overthinking intervention with getting that dragon tamed. I have 3 children with a bonus child, and I love adventure. And I'm here with my 2 friends in this talk show style episode, which I can't wait to talk about our topic. But first, I want to introduce the other 2 wonderful ladies that are joining me today.
Hey everyone, I'm Mary Dibble. I'm a wife, a mom of 3, and I'm a life coach and the host of Radiant Mom Rising podcast. And I'm just here on a mission to help moms to let go of the stuff that's been holding them back and putting themselves in the back burner and really learn to show up for themselves and love themselves and open themselves up to receive all the abundance and joy that they deserve. So excited to be here.
I love that. I'm MaryBeth. I am the host of the Fierce Framework podcast, and I'm all about empowering women to break out of the box that society tells us we're supposed to fit into, start living life more on our own terms, pursuing things that light us up, and becoming fierce through messy action, baby steps, and growing our confidence.
I love it.
Me too.
I love it. All the things we're trying to do is so great. I love it. And that we're together and doing this.
Yes.
I also love that.
Yes.
So fun.
So originally I wanted to talk about something else, and I decided to change my topic last minute because I have been just talking through to a lot of women, and things are really heavy right now. There's a lot, like, normally when you go through life, you got life situations that happen and, life be lifing over here. But I feel like it's extra. I feel like there is a lot more hard times. I'm going to say testing moments, or maybe moments of practicing things. And kind of listening, at least in my case, there's been a lot of incidences of listening to my intuition and then deciding whether or not I'm going to honor myself, but not really realizing it in the moment. And then later I was like, wait, what? So I kind of want to chit chat with you guys, one, if that feeling is similar, if you guys also feel that feeling of heaviness and serious, but also to kind of think about, what the hell do you do when stuff is hard? And when I'm talking hard, I'm talking like life-changing heavy stuff that you're going through. You're trying to be your best self and you're trying to do all the things, and then things just keep knocking you down. And how do you get back up? So sorry. Back to the first question. What do you guys feel like things are heavy right now? Does that seem like,
oh God, yeah.
Oh
what's
gosh,
going on in this whatever life we're having?
Yes. And what's funny is, like, somebody told me, I don't really follow the Chinese calendar or whatever, but I do. I remember being told that last year coming into this year is the year of the rat, or year of the snake. And because of that, a lot of people are dealing with shedding. And I don't know if that could be part of why everything's feeling so heavy, because maybe we're at that last point of like shedding our old selves and really stepping into this new versions of ourselves. And why that has to feel so freaking hard, I don't know, but I do feel you. I feel like it's I've really worked so hard to like be like, I'm going to step into this year different. I'm not going to fall into the winter blues. That's not my story anymore. And I felt so empowered in moments, but then, like you say, things just kept happening. And it's like, I'm at a point where I'm being radically honest with myself, and even like with stuff I'm going through personally in my marriage, and my business. And it's really opening up a lot of emotions and a lot of things that I wasn't expecting. And you're right. It's like figuring out, like, how do I utilize what I've learned on this journey as a life coach, and how can I pick myself back up and not allow this to tear me down in the ways in the past. I mean, I'd be a hot mess right now. And don't get me wrong, I still feel super emotional and a lot of things I'm dealing with, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm so done, like, allowing this crap to dictate me or to stop me and keep me pulling me back to the same old patterns, the same old reality, the same old crap that I've lived time and time again when I try to do the right things and I try to be better. So yeah, that's just my little 2 cent, I guess you could say, of how I've been feeling very similar in this season.
True.
What about you, Mary Beth?
So the autistic kid needs some clarification. Are we talking about like internal or we're talking about like
It's
the
both,
world being
both
on fire?
Both,
internal and external,
everything.
because I feel like both is heavy right now.
Yeah.
Like to kind of like piggyback off of Mary, I feel like sometimes, at least in my case, my outside circumstances are pushing me more to like listen and
Hmm.
use those tools internally. So I'm kind of having an internal battle along with the outside stuff at the
Yes.
same time. So I would say both.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, in my own like little bubble of who I am, like I feel fine.
Good.
Actually, like I don't know, and this is a thing too of like working through of like not feeling guilty when things are going well or when things are easy for me.
Mhm.
Because I think it's so powerful to like relate and have other people like sit in the shit with you and to know that you're not alone in those hard moments and to know that like you're not the only one going through that. But then I also think like we can want to be that person so much that we like not pretend that our life is like worse than it is, but almost like embody the pain around us. So I'm not an expert at not doing that. But I am working on like
Yeah.
trying to not feel guilty because I'm like, I'm fine. Like if I were in a bubble, things would be great. Like I feel like there's kind of possibility on the horizon. My routines are like good enough. I mean, I'm ADHD, so like what is routine?
Right.
Um, yeah, I'm like relatively happy and healthy. And so then it like feels weird. And I think it's also like the weight of that privilege, right? To be able to like be okay with everything that is going on. But another thing that I'm like starting to learn is like, so how do we use that privilege then? Right? Like instead of pretending I don't have it or that my life is harder than it is right now, how can I use like that privilege to then make change in the world around me? Because like that is super heavy and overwhelming and like terrifying and all the things. So I don't really answer your question, but those are my thoughts.
No, I actually really
That's
like that because
too.
you are answering my question and being honest with what's going on with you. And I love that your answer is different because it shows that we're not always on the same page. And when you're not, that's okay. And how do you move with that? How do you hold space for the people that aren't without compromising what you have? Like you said,
Mhm.
right? You want to be able to be strong and show up for them, but you also want to be true to yourself
Yeah,
and real with yourself. So I love that. I love that what you just said and that you trying to also problem solve to do both of those, but then also make a difference, kind of like leading by example, right? Not just be like, oh, yeah, I'm in the boat with you. You're like, no, I'm actually good, but here's the space I have for you to process that and
mm,
still be win-win, right? Like a win-win situation. So I really
I
appreciate that.
appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
I think that for me, what's really interesting is there's a couple things here. So sometimes for me, like I'll get into like routine or things that I have or a plan that I have set up because I manage a lot of lives. I got a lot of kids. And so I get sometimes lost in the sauce and I'm like in there and doing the things and work and all of the stuff that I have going on that when something big happens, it kind of derails you, right? It
Yeah,
derails you.
totally.
And in my past, I mean, I've had a very interesting life with a lot of derails. And getting back up and resilience is something I've had to practice a lot since I was very
Hmm.
young.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you have other people that you have to take care of and how you get back up is very different than
Mm,
when you don't.
hmm.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's shoved in your face that people are watching you because you have littles, right? Like, of course, your circles are around you and they can see, right? And not
Yeah.
like watching you to check you, but just like watching you just to see. But when you have littles, it's different because what you do, you pass to them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like it you can get stuck though, depending on the situation and the scenario that you're in. You can get stuck so easy in that like I don't want to. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to like you can get stuck in all of that stuff very easy because the feelings suck. The
Yeah.
feelings
Yeah.
suck. They're not it's hard because it's like the things you need to do, like how you were saying the year of the snake. Like when I say when you go through bad feelings and you have like, you're crying a lot or, that type of situation. For me, how I look at that is I'm shedding the shit. So
Hmm.
I am literally crying to process what is going on,
God. Yeah.
whether it's to let go or
Hmm.
whether it's to move to the next thing I have to shed, whatever that may be, because we don't have this whole lined out for us, right? Like we don't even know in 5 minutes. We only know what has happened and what we choose to do with it from there. And I think that with littles, for me, it like makes me have to think about it. Like, do I want them to do this? Do I want to lead by example of
Oof. Yeah.
not doing something and not using my tools?
Yeah.
Or do I want to use my tools so they can see to kind of like pass the resilient baton, if you will,
Yeah.
um, along? So it's kind of interesting how you can I don't want to say use your kids, or maybe your kids are here to save you and they don't even realize it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but them being here makes you think, differently about how you're presenting yourself or what you're doing because you don't want to
Yeah.
pass that along to them. And that could be behaviors, patterns, addictions, it could be anything that you do, right?
Yeah.
Um, so for me, that's been like a big, I guess you could say carrot on how, like, what tool do I want to use? How do I want to
Hmm.
show this in moving through this crazy time, um, with big changes. I mean, there's a lot of big changes happening in my life in the next year. So
Yeah.
I, I think that that has been super helpful. I guess my question to you guys would be what kind of helps you just with the motivation? Like mine was like thinking about my kids, like I don't want my kids to do this, so then it
Yeah.
like flips the script for me. Not even getting to the tool part. Like what gets you to do the things that you need to
Yeah.
do when you feel like
Yeah.
crap? You
Yeah.
don't
I
want to
mean,
do anything.
I know. Well, I mean, obviously, like you say, as a mom, yeah, it's a big part of why I love working with moms, and they are my intrinsic motivation because they
Mhm.
are they're why I do what I do. They're why I get to
Yeah.
show up, and you're right, the whole modeling for our kids, like I used to, before I really understood all of that, I was afraid to like cry in front of my son or
Hmm.
be emotional because I wanted to be like, I felt like I had to always be like the strong mom, like who's all good and happy and everything's good. And I realized, you know what? I'm not teaching him how to handle his own emotions. Like,
Same.
and so I've learned to just be real and
Yeah.
honest, and I love it because they also get to see mommy go through that, but also come back and be strong and
Yeah.
like see have
Yeah.
that resilience and show them like, hey, you know what, mom's keeps going, and I feel like that's a great way to show them that you know what, life's gonna happen sometimes, things are gonna hurt you, but you
Hmm.
know what, you can get back up and just rise again, and it will one way or another it will work out. And also I love teaching my kids about how they respond. And that's something I'm working on too. It's like we don't have control over the stuff that's happening,
Yeah.
or how I've been telling myself I'm not responsible for what other people feel or think. Like that's not on me to carry anymore. If they want to,
Yeah.
if I'm going to be honest about something and someone wants to get defensive or upset about it, like that's no longer something I need to carry that I used to all the time. And that's, again, just kind of part of my motivation is like, besides my kids too, it's just me. Like I'm just ready to become who I'm meant to be. And I'm just tired. I guess for me, I look at it almost like demons, like the devil. Like, come at me. You keep coming at me and throwing things and testing me, but okay, I'm gonna show you. Like, you ain't gonna win with me, kind of thing. And I think that helps me sometimes when I catch myself falling into like the darkness or the negative thoughts, feelings, to be like gently loving it and reminding myself, okay, Mary, you got this. It somehow or another, this is like a lesson or something that's going to make me grow stronger or whatever it is. I'll see it through. I always give it to God. I'm like, you know what, God, I'll give it to you. I trust that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Ugh, I love that so much. Well, I don't have children, so love that for you.
Okay.
But I do think it's so powerful how they're they can be a motivation to hold yourself to a higher standard because they're learning from how you act and not just what you say. And so it's like, I mean, I think it is a lot of responsibility, and I think it's really just important and powerful that how y'all are handling it. And so I don't know, I just love to see it. You're such good moms. Um, yeah, so for me, I mean, my sibling, I have younger sisters, so there's a little bit of that, but it's not, I live alone, right? So it's not like they're seeing how I'm handling things in the middle of the shitstorm, when I'm in my room crying, right? So having that privacy is kind of nice. Um, and I I like having, what am I trying to say? It's almost helped me realize I have permission to be messy. And so and I think we all do, even if there are little eyes around, right? Like you were saying, showing your emotions in front of your son. But just knowing that I don't have to do things in a way that looks good all the time.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just be a hot mess sometimes, and that's fine. It's okay to be okay, you know? And I hate that that's cliche, but it's also not wrong. So, yeah, just accepting that, and this is something I'm still working on, but it's life isn't supposed to be good all the time or easy all the time. We're not supposed to feel good and be happy all the time. I don't think so. This might be super controversial, I don't know. But it's the ups and downs are part of it. So it's when shit hits the fan or when something is really hard or I'm not okay, it's actually really reassuring for me to be that's okay. I don't have to be okay all the time. This is fine. I'm allowed to fall apart sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm gonna get it back together eventually, but I don't need to have it together right now. And life has ups and downs, and this is one of the downs, and that's part of life. It doesn't mean that I'm doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean that I fucked up and I deserve this, or I put some kind of bad karma into the universe, or
Yeah.
God is punishing me. It is part of life. So actually depersonalizing it helps me a lot because I think I tend to take on a lot of responsibility that isn't mine. So I
Mhm.
love what you were saying earlier too, Mary, about not
Yes.
taking on everything. And it's yeah, you can't take on the problems of the literal universe. It's not your fault. So it's okay, so then, and then I guess being kind of selfish, right? So instead of thinking that all of this has anything to do with me, it's just sometimes shit happens. And then kind of bringing it down to a one-on-one person level. And okay, so I'm not okay right now, and that's fine. So what do I need? How can I take care of myself? How can we kind of not pretend none of this is happening, but hunker down and hibernate a little bit and conserve your resources if you need to, and care for yourself because this too shall pass, right? So it's how am I going to get through this season and then kind of be able to start blossoming again? So, yeah, I guess not taking on the weight of the world and then turning inward a little bit and just trying to be gentle with myself and okay, so what do I need in this moment? Um, And sometimes I do stay in bed, Shauna, and I have that privilege because I don't have kids. But then it's when, the continual checking in with yourself, right? And it's okay, is this what I need or am I hurting myself now? If it's a week in bed, it's not what I need. Now I'm now that's coming into self-harm feels extreme, but not lack of caring for myself, right? So then it's Yeah, you guys get it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you just dropped a couple bombs there.
Yeah.
Just
You sure
saying.
did. You sure did.
I mean, I even
Well,
like I have to write these down so I don't
I know.
forget.
Oh,
So
gosh.
what I want to point out is like Mary, you were like, I just want to be real. I just want to have my emotions like and be
Especially
okay
in
with
front of
it.
little boys.
Yes,
I
I
love that.
agree. I agree. My children, I've always been a person that is like, I'll just do my emotion in front of them. Or if it's something like where it's starting, I will let them know, like, with you asking me this question 5 times in a row is starting to frustrate me. I'm going to need you to give me a minute. Like things like that. Like I
Yeah.
will actively talk through the emotion. And I think that it's super important because they also still, even with me doing that, they still struggle on whether or not they should show it. Like my son the other night, he was really upset, like crying really hard, and he was trying to suck it up, like instantly, like suck it up and just hold it in. And I was like, oh, we're not doing that. We're not
Hmm.
doing that. I'm like, I'm gonna sit right here with you, and even if it's for 20 minutes, you can cry as much as you want. We'll
That's
close
awesome.
the door. You can do what you need to do, but we're not just sucking it up to go out because he kept trying to be like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's no, we're gonna come
Yeah.
back around here and we're
Yeah.
gonna sit right here and we're gonna do
Yeah.
this uncomfortable, whatever, messy. Like you said, sometimes, Mary Beth, you said sometimes you're a hot mess. And I think that you like hit the nail on the head. Like being okay with whatever you're in, whether it's hot mess, whether it's really happy or excited. It's really weird. It's like humans are by and large, we want to be in this little, like, oh yeah, we're happy. Oh, we're kind of frustrated. Oh, we're kind of sad. We're in this little like middle, whatever. But when it like swings over to like, oh my God, I'm so excited about this, people are like, it's like we feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable about
Yeah.
celebrating stuff and being
Yeah.
excited, or we
Yes.
feel uncomfortable about being really upset and like, this is tearing my life up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can't talk about it. What?
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel that that is a baton that was handed to us is like, you don't talk about stuff, you don't show
Yeah.
your emotion, you don't whatever. And I feel
Oh
like
man.
we've done a very good job generationally to break that to like, no, we're
Yes.
human and we can feel all the things and like
Yes.
practicing it.
Yeah.
And so
Good.
I love that you said, Mary, too, that there's some lesson here. And
Mm.
sometimes when you're in the storm, you can't see anything. Like
Oh
it's
God, yeah.
just too much. Like you just have to
Yeah.
process and feel, and you just have to be in it. You just have to sit in the shit, and you just have to feel through it. And eventually, you can ask those questions and see the lesson. But I guess like don't frantically look for it. Like don't
Mm.
frantically look for the
Yeah.
answer. Don't be like, I have to find this answer because
Yeah.
the answer may not come to you for an entire year. You
True
may not
that.
understand, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes we get lost in this. We're going to look for the answer and I'm going to do the thing and I need to
Yeah.
know. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you see that so many people struggle with that. There's always like, what do I do? How do I do this? Whatever. They don't even ever think about who they need to be, and that's so powerful of a shift and stop seeking so much of a instant gratification, an instant answer, instant everything. I mean, which I get. We all
Yeah.
want that now, 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 of course,
You know
but
what I think it is?
what?
I think it's control.
Mm-hmm. I
I
agree.
I
A big
think
part.
when stuff's going sideways and it feels like what the what's going on?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, you're like grasping, oh, I need to know the answer and I need to do this
Yeah.
and I'm gonna make this routine
Yep.
and and we're gonna do this. And you're like almost like rigid about it because it's like you can't control how you feel or what's going on and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're just like, control all the things.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's like if we can find the lesson, then it's like you can fix it faster.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's like not
Yes.
necessarily. And like you were saying, sometimes you don't find the lesson until you're looking back in retrospect. You're like, oh shit. Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
because
what if the lesson is to feel and complete the circuit of the feeling?
yeah, exactly. And I mean, sometimes even when you get the answers, you're not ready to hear it either. So you have to think
Yeah.
about that too.
I'm so good
Yes.
at that.
Yeah.
I love that. Me too.
Yeah. And you're like, oh man. And then
Mhm.
you're like sorting through that messy box, you're
Yes.
like, oh, this is so great.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but it's what I also want to say is like Mary, when you were saying, like you're done. I think that is also a lot of how change starts and how growth starts and how
Mhm.
different action starts to happen. So, like, the steps can go in that direction because you are processing and feeling it, right? You're doing the things, you're going through it. But I totally know what you mean when you're like, I don't want to feel this anymore. I don't want to be in this anymore. And sometimes you don't have the choice. Sometimes it's just there and it's going to come
Wow.
back. But to touch on what Mary Beth said is like, what do I need right now? Really getting real with yourself and checking on what that actually is going to help you. For me, it's funny because, I own my own business and I have kids and I have their activities and my activities and all of the things. And when my life went sideways last month, I had a couple of really huge life-altering situations kind of within weeks of each other. And it has really made me have to check in with myself on what do I need to be doing? Like, what is actually important that I need to be doing so
Yeah.
I don't shove myself into survival mode,
Mhm.
right? Because if you just react and you don't respond,
Mhm.
Hmm.
you're just going into survival mode. Now you're anxious and panicky and control, 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 control. No, thank you. I don't want
Yeah.
to live there. There's going to be times where that's going to happen, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to have that. I don't want to be in that state. Like you said, who we need to be. And I think that checking in and truly being like brutally honest with ourselves and being okay with, I feel like crap today and I don't want to get out of bed, whether you have kids or not, just not staying there, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or like, maybe it's like I have to do something different. What is something I can do? And you just like maybe you go for a walk at 10 a.m. when you don't even normally you don't have time till 3, but you're like, nope, left field,
Yeah.
going for a walk. Like you just have to like
Exactly.
almost disrupt.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Disrupt the pattern. So it's like
Yeah.
I was actually talking to someone the other day about this because it's like I was very proud of her because I'm like, you already recognize that you have this particular pattern that you fall back into when you're feeling this way. Like when you start getting
Hmm.
anxious or scared about change, you go to these certain things. So the fact that you recognize it's huge. Now, disrupt it. So when you see yourself doing it, be like, like I'm going to go and meditate instead. I'm going to go and write in
Hmm.
my journal instead, or I'm going to go do the thing that I'm resisting myself from doing, even
Hmm.
if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a small, it doesn't have to be a large thing, but like, yeah, that's a very powerful thing to do for yourself is when you catch yourself in those typical patterns that you fall into for survival. Um, yeah, disrupt it oh my gosh, yeah, that's a very powerful thing, Sean. I'm glad you brought that up.
It's like the mini step to taking your
Yeah.
power back?
Yeah, it
Hmm.
is.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, why am I journaling? What did that do? You
Oh,
do it for like 3 minutes and you're like, "Pff," like again, reminding that we don't just do one tool and then it's magically happy and whatever. Like that's not how it works. Like you
Yeah.
have to build a foundation
hmm.
for it. And
Yeah,
sometimes when you do little bits at a time, let's say a week goes by and you look back and you're oh, now I see each little piece I've put on there to where I feel better now. And if I wouldn't have done that, I'd be in the exact same position I was on Sunday or
exactly.
what have
Yes.
you.
And it does. It takes you forcing yourself a lot of times because I know with me, sometimes I'm the same way. I'm in that zone of like, I just want to go back to bed. I don't feel like doing it. I'm like, nope, there it goes. And so I'll be like, okay, no, I'm going to sit here and do affirmations. I'm going to sit here. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't fix the problem per se, but gosh, does it help me to kind of just release, whether it be like having a cry fit or and letting it out. Or my favorite thing too is I'm learning anyways, because I struggled with this, is turning to people and talking to
Hmm.
them about it. People that I know that I can trust and that I can connect with. Like I'm not holding back anymore. Because I notice that when I talk about it, when I get it out, whether it is through journaling or talking to someone I trust, it just whew, does it relieve my nervous system. It helps give me clarity. And it's nice too to kind of sometimes get that validation that, you know what, Mary, you're not crazy. You're not wrong for feeling how you're feeling. Like
Yeah.
it's okay. But you're going to get through this. I just think that's so powerful.
I love that.
That's so true.
Yeah. And like being able to ask like what you're trying to feel or like what you're trying to get out of the
Yeah.
situation. Like you were saying, just like going back to bed, it's like, what is my motivation? Like, what am I trying to accomplish?
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, I want to feel a certain way. And it's like, okay, how can I give myself that in a more healthy way? like you were saying, doing the affirmations instead. And I think that that's so powerful because it's like we were talking about earlier, right? If you're staying in bed for like weeks and weeks and weeks, you're not changing anything, but it's like there's a reason you're doing that, right? You're not a crazy person. You're trying to accomplish something, like you're trying to get something. So it's like what are you trying to get? Like
Yeah.
what do you need and how can you give yourself that? And so I love that, like recognizing it, breaking the pattern, and then doing something that's going to actually give you what you need.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, journaling, affirmations, like whatever that is, it's actually like healthy and like nutritious to your soul
Yeah.
instead of just
Yep. And I
giving
think
up.
it's
Or
through that
checking out.
too. Exactly. Checking out. Yeah. And that's through a lot of the activities too that you get downloads. Like you kind of
Hmm.
find your
Yeah.
way through it and you get like, I mean, I know for me, I've had so many downloads from the times that I've just allowed myself to just feel it, rest
Hmm.
and show up in a way that I was trying to be resistant to.
Hmm.
Because I get it. It's not always easy, like even exercising to be like, oh, especially when you have to leave the house to go to a class or something. It's like I feel you, because my brain loved to attack me with that one. But I love it when I'm so proud of myself when I'm like, nope, gonna do it anyways. And then I go and I feel amazing from that experience. So it's yeah, very, very, very good, very powerful for anyone listening to recognize.
I love how you said being proud of yourself too, because it's like, especially like when you're in the shit and you're struggling to like even do the smallest things, um, you can have that voice in your head that's like, that's pathetic. Or like you were saying, Shauna, like I only journaled for 3 minutes. It didn't help. Like
Yeah.
this is useless. This is dumb. Um, but if we're able to like be a little bit more gentle and encouraging with ourselves, like that can change the dynamic so much. And that's
Yeah.
something like I've been working on a lot is like I don't know. Like, I guess I just thought I was like hot shit and should like have it together all the time. Because I'd like do something small, like maybe get out of bed when you don't want to, right? And you're like, yeah, that's finally, you finally get out of bed and like that's all you've done all day. And you're like immediately like talking shit to yourself when you finally did the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what if I was a little bit nicer to myself and be like, hey, we did
We did.
it. Like,
Yeah.
that's a step. Okay. Like, we journaled for 3 minutes. Like, maybe we don't feel better, but hey, you tried something that you thought was going to help. You checked the box, right? Like, you did the thing. You said the affirmations, even though they felt stupid. Like, and so, like you were saying, like going to the gym and then being proud of yourself and like, hey, we went. Like, maybe I didn't get the best work out of my life, but I went to the gym. What was I going to be doing if I didn't do that? Sitting on the couch? Okay. So, like, letting yourself be proud, even if it is like kind of a baby step. And then that is building like, encouragement and like building yourself up instead of tearing yourself down. Like, yeah, you went to the gym, but you half-assed it. Not helpful. No, not
No.
at all. Especially when you're already struggling.
Yeah.
Right. And through like I do a lot of work with that voice that comes and talks shit to you. And it's actually scientifically proven that once you flip the script, if you will, and like talk a little nicer to yourself, you are changing the pattern and attempting to rewire your brain. But when you celebrate that you did it, you're almost creating like instead of creating a millimeter, you're creating an inch of rewiring, which is
Hmm.
so
That's
interesting
awesome.
because it's so easy to do, but yet we struggle to celebrate our little small wins. And that's like paving our way of like rewiring how we talk to ourselves. So it's so, I mean, I could go on and on and on about this. It's just fascinating to me
It
how
is.
it's so easy, but yet we're picking the hard road. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Or maybe because it feels weird, to celebrate yourself. Maybe that feels weird. I know it did for me. I'm like, I don't want to celebrate that. Like when I first started, I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not
Well,
doing that part.
Do
it's like
that.
I
You
thought
know?
it was supposed to be better.
Yeah.
Like you're saying on hard mode. Yeah, I think like I used to think that I was like supposed to live life on hard mode and like crush it. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm
I'm gonna
gonna just
back up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get through. So if there's an easy way, I'm just gonna do that.
It's so funny though.
Stick
And I
around.
think that I think even our thoughts are patterns, right? Even how we talk to ourselves is a pattern, whether we know if it's been passed down to us or not. But we have to break those. And by doing that, by Like, hold on, I need to talk nicer to myself here. And how I like to think of it is like, would I be talking to you guys like that?
Right.
Like, would I say that thing to you guys? If the answer is
Right.
no, I should not be saying it to myself,
Right.
you know? And that's the way that I check myself. And then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
what can I say differently here? And then say that thing. And, even if you're just like, yeah, I just did that. It doesn't have to be like, woo, dancing around and like, this whole party time thing. I mean, unless you want to do it, go ahead. But like, you can just like, yeah, I did that. Like, to yourself, like, yeah, 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 I did that, and it like solidifies the change. It helps
Mhm.
that change move in the direction that we want it to faster.
Mm.
But you got to do the thing first. You got to do
Yeah.
the thing first. Um, Another thing that I want to say is like asking yourself those questions about what you need and how you want to be like right now. Sometimes
Mm.
we ask those really important questions and which are deep questions that we can get answers for. The catch is don't ask the question to get a response right away.
Right.
That's an expectation. It's kind of like you want it to be in your timing so you can move faster, but it's not always that way. Sometimes you ask the question, like, what is the next step with my parenting or whatever? Like, you can get specific as you want to, but you can sometimes just ask the question and then just like hold space for yourself to see the answer later. And it may not come right away. It may come in a couple days. It may come in a couple weeks. And what I've found is just asking the question and then not like frantically searching for it, like where's the answer and just letting it be and almost like letting it go. Like ask the question, sit with it, let it go. You're gonna get the answer at the most random times.
In the shower, probably.
Yeah.
Probably, which is funny because I was actually cleaning the bathroom when one of mine came to me, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "Well, this is weird." But it was
That's
weird,
good.
but it was random enough for me to understand this is what I need to do because I'm cleaning my bathroom and I'm talking about my lease that's coming up. What? And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, noted. I got it, But or like you said, sometimes when you're taking a shower and you have all these thoughts, it's like, it's like you just get all these thoughts and stuff. I always, if I get like a bunch of thoughts in the shower, I write them down, just even if it's just to get them out onto something. So if
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what was that thing because how many times do you
Yes.
remember what you friggin' think about in
Right.
the shower?
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. I know.
But if it's juicy enough, I'm like, nope, I'm gonna write this down. I don't know if I need it. I'm just gonna write it down and stick it over here just because it's just there so that I can try to recall it with all the millions of things we think about in the day. And
Mhm.
sometimes it's helpful, and sometimes I'm like, nope, I just needed to think about that for a second. Or that's my answer that I've been looking for.
Mm.
It's just interesting how we can get stuck in the search instead of just being open
Yeah.
for the answer or being open for the next step to see it. I feel like when you start trying to control when you're getting the answer, now you're just looking
Yes.
like this
Yep.
and you can't
Blinded.
see the thing and it literally could be right here. Like, hello, I'm handing it to you. And you're just like, no, but I need it like in 2 minutes, not in,
Hmm.
not just being open. And then you're like, oh, here it is. It's just interesting. We self-sabotage really because we're trying to control
Yeah.
everything and have all this expectation
Yes. Oh yeah. Isn't that a yeah, it's a huge thing a lot of us struggle with.
and to
That is
know
a
when, I
Mhm.
guess knowing when it's your shit,
Mm.
Yeah.
that I feel like checking in and actually trying to figure out if it's your own expectation. Because a lot of times we react and respond on other people's expectations, on other
Yeah.
people's, what are they going to think about this or what have you? And to have to reset yourself to be like, I'm sorry, I'm not living their life. I'm living
Mhm.
mine. I'm living mine. So what do I want that to look like? And then going back to Mary Beth and being okay with what is, like
Mhm.
being okay with what that looks like. It's just so interesting to me how we can we're all on slippery slopes everywhere and we're trying to figure out how to balance on this wire.
I know
It's
because everyone's journey is their own unique journey, and it's just we get so I think there's just so much society puts on us, but also that we put on ourselves, and it's like we're just all trying to find the happiness, the success, the freedom. But it's like we got to stop thinking that it's got to look a certain way.
Hmm.
Just because it worked for this person this way doesn't mean it has to look like that for you. And that is okay. Actually, that's exciting because that means anything's possible for you, you know? And I feel like it's helpful when you learn to have fun and be open on your journey rather than trying, like you say, to have that control, those expectations of how you think it should look. Because that is where I feel like we push away so much that is available for us. And we create a lot of like burnout and overwhelm and stress. It's just not good for us.
Mhm.
No, we get stuck on that overthinking wheel.
Oh, God. And that a bitch.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck up in my
Oh,
brain overthinking things over and
phew.
over and over again. I do
Yeah,
not think
no,
so.
no. Thank you.
That's crazy. Well, what are some like I know for me, like when I'm in the shit and I'm like trying to get through the storm and I for me, I back way up. And so all the extra things, I had to get real with myself, like what is really extra and what is really needed. I
Mhm.
backed up a lot and just started doing the needed.
Mhm.
Every once in a while when I feel good, I'll be like, can I do more? Can I do this? Can I do that? Because I really need to do what needs my attention today, not like, oh, in the next month and three. Like I can't think that far ahead when it's in crazy mode,
Right.
and to like really question myself on what is needed today and then just do today and do that, like you said, for a little while and then try to reach out and try to do other things is how I try to manage it. And then, of course, with all of the clearing my mind and moving my body and making sure that I'm even eating. Like sometimes when you get in, for me, it can go both ways, right? Like when I'm really in the shit, like I forget to eat. And I know it can be opposite for some people. And I have to set reminders. Like I had to set reminders last month to tell me, like, you need to eat lunch because I was going an entire day without eating, without even knowing that it was happening.
Mhm.
But to have that check in and recognize that, now I have to do something with that information to take care of myself. Because if you're not eating, if you're not drinking water, and when I say move your body, I'm not saying you have to go to the gym 3 times a week or you have to do all this stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, even if you are in one room of your house because you're not feeling it and you don't want to even go, just go out to your front porch for like 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, just go somewhere different, move your energy and yourself somewhere different, or walk around the block, or, just something different that's not what you're doing. And then for me, I have to just write. Like I just have to journal
Mhm.
everything that comes into my head to let it out. Otherwise, it just like the overthinking wheel just starts happening and then it's
Yeah.
jumbled up and it sounds like a loud party room up there with all the thoughts. And I'm like, no, I don't like that's, I don't want that up there. But if I get it to paper, I can have more clarity on what I actually need. That's what I do when things get really big and heavy. And then I do what Mary Beth said is I am okay with whatever I'm feeling. And when I have little people coming and asking me, why are you crying? Why are you really upset? What happened? Sometimes my answer is nothing happened. I'm processing, feeling this feeling. So it's okay for me to cry for the next however many minutes, but showing them that I can sit and cry and it doesn't have to be an immediate response to something. And
Mhm.
that showing that I can process that, but talking through it as I'm doing it. Sometimes you don't got words and you're just like, I just have to cry.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with a good cry fest is so healthy. It really
Hmm.
is. Like it really is so healthy and soothing to like get it out and release it. Like I honestly I'm not afraid of those like I used to be. I used to think it was weak.
Hmm.
So I get it. I understand how because we grew up being told don't cry. Suck it
Right.
up, So it's like I get where that comes from, but I'm like no, I'm glad that now I'm free to feel like I need to cry. I'm gonna cry.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love it. I love the way I feel afterwards. I really do. So yeah, I mean, Shauna, I love everything you said that you're doing as a way to pull yourself out is a lot of some of the things that I'm working on and doing as well. I mean, it's so powerful to just this is why I love what we're doing. And we're so blessed to be able to share this with others who may not be aware that this is available for them. But it seems some of the stuff seems like, oh, that seems silly or simple, too simple, whatever. But it truly is something that helps you. And I love that you put the reminders to eat because I have to do reminders to drink water. And I used to think, oh, I'm a little ashamed of that. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm proud of it because I did something about it. I
Hmm.
noticed that I wasn't drinking
That's
water
good.
regularly, so I
Yeah.
did something about it. And that's why I think for me, my calendar reminders are such a huge help in my life
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I have a reminder to go pick up my kids, you guys. Okay, because
Right.
I get lost in the sauce too with work and everything. And I had one time where I had a scare where I looked down, it was like almost 2:35 and I'm supposed to get my son by like 2:40. So I was like, oh my God. So it was like after that, I was like, okay. So obviously I get lost in things. So now I have an alarm that goes off like, just in time for me. And I think that's something we should embrace more of,
Totally.
recognizing how you are and be, I have ADD, I have ADHD. My mind is from here to, I mean, all
Yes.
the time. And I've been practicing mindfulness and meditation because for so long I resisted that because I thought someone like me wasn't allowed to do that because of the way my mind just goes on and on. But actually I've learned to like reframe that and allow myself to just sit with it and be the observer
Mm.
of my thoughts because I'm not my thoughts. I'm the observer of it and I get to decide what I do about it. But if I keep ignoring it or trying to push it away, then I'm going to miss a lot of stuff that I need
Yeah.
to hear. So I'm learning to, like I said, to be more open to exploring those things and just even being open to try new things because I mean, there's so much stuff out there that people are always sharing that I have yet to try that I'm like, ooh, okay, hey, let me see if that helps me feel good or
Mm.
whatever. I'm constantly meeting new guests who have different ways of how healing themselves or sharing. And I'm like, ooh, just be open. There's so much available for us, you guys, that can really help us to get out of these hard times that are going to happen,
Hmm.
you know?
Mm.
Hmm.
So don't be afraid to seek the help, seek out things that are gonna, like I said, pull you out of it. You don't have to stay there.
Mm. I
It's
love
so
that.
real.
Yeah.
So inspirational.
You're so
Well, I think it's a thing, right? Like we have support systems. I can say for me, like in this real life struggle, for a while, I wasn't talking about it.
Hmm.
I wasn't even saying what was going on. And people around me were like, what the hell is going on? Like, you are not like normal. And I found that I was super embarrassed that this was my life. It was something that I could not
So,
control.
yeah.
It was something that happened that I that was extremely scary and has like aftermath that has to be dealt with. And
Mm.
so for me, it's like I didn't want to talk about it because it would almost make it more real, like it really happened. Like
Mm.
my brain couldn't minimize it and push it aside, right?
Mm.
And make it be like, oh, you know, that was just last Tuesday or whatever. Like my brain was really trying to do that. And I had to check
Yeah.
myself multiple times to be like, this is serious.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. And to be okay knowing that instead of minimizing it. And it's interesting to me how your brain tries to protect you from stuff that is really scary.
Mm.
And when I started talking to people, I would reach out to people that were closest to me. So I'm like, who do I know that I can talk about this with that I know, right? I know aren't going to judge me. They're
Nope.
not going to, that they're going to be there for me and that they're going to, support me if I need it. And I know usually like when you talk about your story, your truth, and you speak that, sometimes people say like, what do you need? And you don't know. You don't, at least for me, I don't know. I don't know what that is, but I know now by having that conversation that if I do need something, because that person has said that, I can reach out to them if I do need something because they have said, like,
Mm.
if you need something, let me know. And then you know who your people are when things are hard. And then you use it.
That part.
Yes.
Like, don't just, oh, yes, I have these four people that I can reach out to. No, now you got to use it also
Yeah.
to make sure that you're working through it. It's like speaking your truth, accepting support, and then using it is what's going to help you get through the really hard times when you're not really feeling it. And some people just check on you.
Yeah. And don't, I feel like for me, that was a struggle because I always thought, oh, they're just trying to be nice or like, I don't want to bother them. Maybe they don't really care. I used to have all those kind of thoughts when I had people who would offer support and help.
Mhm.
So I get how that can be challenging, but I'm proud. Again, that's something I've been working on myself is like, you're right, taking them at their word. They say they're going to help or support me. I, I take out, I receive it.
I love that. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, it's important who you choose to share with, right?
Yes. Hmm.
But yeah, like sharing what's going on because, like you were saying, like the embarrassment, and I think it goes hand in hand with shame when you're going through a situation and it's like when you were like you said you were embarrassed that this was your life, like that resonated so hard with some stuff that like I've been through. Um, and I think that that is probably a really common feeling. But then it's like when you're able to open up about it and share what you're going through with somebody, again, like not just anybody, but then you have shame really only like can grow in the shadows, like in the dark, in the secret. Like once we're open about things, like it doesn't really have a place to hang out anymore. And so I think it's so powerful to share what's going on and like where you're at. And it is scary because like you said, it can make it feel real, right? But it is real.
Hmm.
So it's like it's an act of courage to confront what is going on. And then once you've taken that step of courage, you're in a better position to actually address it, right? Like when we were talking about with other things, you have to recognize the pattern before you can address it. And so, like, when you're dealing with something huge that's like bringing that shame, taking that step to recognize that it's real, and a lot of that time that's by sharing what's going on, right, with somebody you trust. It literally like puts you in a better position to then start dealing with it. And then also there's so many benefits of sharing what's going on, right? Then you're garnering support, right? Because now people know what's going on. And even little things like just having grace for like why you're not as
Yeah.
bubbly as you usually are, or like, why you're not participating in the friend group activities as much, or like whatever it is, right? Like just, and not that we should have to like explain every single thing that's going on with us to be able to like get grace from our friends. But when it's something significant and it's like a serious personality shift, right? Because you're dealing with a life altering event and letting people in and seeing like, oh my gosh, like I have friendships where they don't have to be equal all the time. And I can be
Yeah.
in a place where like I don't have capacity to show up at 100% and these people still love me and they're going to show up for me. And that is like that will alter your brain chemistry. Um and then the additional effects of like especially with women, right? It's like as soon as you start sharing the shit that you're going through, it's like instant validation and then like half the time they've been through a similar thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, not only are you not allowing shame to take a foothold, right? But it's also like you really have that. You can see your community then start to gather. And sometimes you see people you thought were your friends run away, but like you see your community start to gather, and then you have that like camaraderie, and you understand, like, I'm really not alone in this. And I'm not the only one who's been in a situation like this. It's not my fault so and so is in a similar situation and she shared her story, and I don't think she's an idiot who made a bad life choice and like she deserves this. So why would I think that about my situation? And so it's like there's so many benefits of like just getting the shit out into the open and be like, this is what's going on.
Yes. Yes.
So I love that you
Sorry, that's my
said,
soapbox.
no, I love it. I love it because I think you're being completely real about it too, about especially with the conversations of, you know, talking to your support system and finding out who that is and how you said, and some of them will run. Now, I'm not going to put the person on blast, but I did go to a person
Do
in my
it.
situation. I did go to a person in my situation that I thought would have my back, that I thought would
Mhm.
be supportive, that I thought would be there for me. And no, there was like zero concern. It was like, I was so, like, I instantly got so upset. Like, how dare you?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I am actually being vulnerable with you and telling you. But then when I removed myself from the situation, again, I allowed being processed because I was mad for a reason. Why was I mad? Because I was hurt because I thought this person was going to be there for me and they were not. And it crushed me. And I processed that. It took me a couple of days. And then
Mhm.
I really thought about it and I was like, you know what? Thank you for that information because now I know that that is not
Yeah.
my person to ever go to with for anything because they're not, they're not my person. They're just not my
Yeah.
person. So, in a way, when you go through stuff, you find out very quickly who your people actually are.
Yeah.
Who's going to show up for you? You can see it. So, like Mary, when you were saying, oh, are they just being nice? I don't think so. I think those are your people. I think that they are going to be there, you know what I mean, for you. And yes, there might be some people that will be like, oh, yeah, I'll do, what do you need? Blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But you can feel it. You can feel the difference between fake
Mm-hmm.
of like, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you out, blah, 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 or, like being like anything, just tell me, talk to me, I'm here. Like you can tell and feel the connection. And that's okay because not everybody is for you,
Right.
Yeah.
you
And
know?
well, and the sooner you get like allow yourself to, let go of those people
True.
who are not, you make more space for the right people too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
100%.
it's not easy. I know it hurts because I get it, but it's like at the same time, I've
Yeah.
learned to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely sucks and it's like painful, but I love what you said, Shauna, that like the lesson you got from that is she's not your person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think so often, like, we expect other people to like reward or validate our courage. And like, it's shitty what she did, right? Or he, whoever, they, right? I, I could all of a sudden I panicked. I was like, I know you didn't put the person on blast, and I can't remember you said it wasn't she or not.
I
Anyway,
didn't.
I'm just
You're
projecting. I'm
fine.
so
Yeah.
sorry. Um, the patriarchy. Um, but I think so often like we put the pressure on other people to like respond well because like you were vulnerable, you did the right
Mm-hmm.
thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
you would want them to also do the right thing and show up for you and support you and like, especially thinking they're your friend, right? And so I just love that like the lesson you learned was they're not your people and that sucks and that hurts and that's okay. Instead of taking like the takeaway being I can't be vulnerable. I shouldn't share what's going on.
Correct.
I need to not rely on it. Like
Yeah.
I think
That's so
that like
important.
that is
Yeah.
such an important paradigm shift. And I think that's part of why it's important to practice leaning on our people and finding things out. Because if you've never leaned on your support network, you don't really know if they can support you or
Mm-hmm.
if they're just being nice and like saying the things, right? So like the way to find that out is to do it, and you're gonna have both results. You're gonna have people you find out like actually they can't show up for me the way I need. But if you keep trying, you're also gonna find the people who do show up for you. And so I think that that is like so, so powerful that like don't give up after the one person
Yeah.
Right.
doesn't show up for you or the one person like turns out to not be a great friend or the one person runs away because like they don't like it when you're not happy go lucky all the time. But keep being human
Yeah.
and keep relying on your people and giving your friends the opportunity to be friends. And then you're going to find those people you can. And that is gold. And it's so worth it.
It really changes your perspective on how grateful you are for the people that are in your life.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
for me when that happened, it was like the lesson, okay, this person is not my people. But then it I already knew the people that were there for me were amazing, but it
Mm.
just like the light just, you know what I mean? Just like cut over
Yeah,
to
the
them and it's like,
contrast.
and your
Yes.
people, it's like, oh, like it just made me like I actually, you know, message people or tell them like I appreciate them for doing that, for reaching out and checking in
Mm.
and all of that. Like I will say it back because I want them to know that I actually do. Like it's not the courtesy of, oh, I'm here and that like I'm here and like the are they really your people situation. When you let them know that they're appreciated for that too, it's like a win-win because the person's like, I was there for my friend because she said you know what I'm saying? So she said
Yeah.
that she appreciated it. So it's like validation from both sides. And I think that's super important because all you're doing is deepening that support system and
Mm.
relationship.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we went there for this one for sure.
Sure did. In it.
Such
I
a, it's
know.
just, yeah, and I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, wow, this is a like really powerful conversation. This is going to be a great episode. Like
Yeah.
I love the realness. This is so nice. Like, to really get to be real and just talk about these things that so many of us are dealing with on a day-to-day
Mm.
basis. It's just really awesome.
And I feel like a lot of times people, they might be too embarrassed or they might be too scared or they might be too, you know, emotion is too big that they don't know what to do or how to do or whatever. And it's just
Mm.
good to have these conversations, like this is how we are feeling. Yes, we are embarrassed.
Yeah.
We are embarrassed of the situation and
Yeah.
moving through it is the same. You
Mm.
gotta name the thing. I am embarrassed. You gotta name the thing. You gotta take the
Mm.
steps. You gotta keep going because you're still living your life. You can't stop.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like we got to learn to be okay with being embarrassed, to be
Hmm.
okay with failing, to be
Yeah.
okay with all the crap, learn to be okay that, it's just part of it. And it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's like the end all, that we don't
Right.
have to be defeated by it, that it's
Yeah.
just,
Part of the whole thing. It's part of
yes.
life, the ups
Oh,
and the
yeah,
downs.
exactly.
Yes.
It's preparing you.
Just
I
part
feel
of
like
it.
it is, man, it's preparing us for what's, for what's to come, I guess, to strengthen us and to prepare us too, I think in a way that we can help others. Like just having this
Mm.
conversation right here, I can't imagine like if years ago the old version of me heard this, just how empowering it would be of being like,
Hmm.
Mm.
wow, like, oh, I never thought of it like that. I
Mhm.
can do this. Like, oh, wow, look at these women who are on this journey and look at they're feeling what I'm feeling. Like, it's like
Mhm.
that realness of it all. Like, it doesn't matter how, I mean, even the most successful people that you see, like everyone has their challenges. Everyone has their
Mhm.
stuff that they have to go through, but it's how we choose to go through it is what makes us or breaks us in the end.
That's so good. How we go through it. That's so good. This is a choice, right? Everything's a choice. You
Yes.
can choose how, if you're going to go through it, or you can choose to stay where you are.
Yeah.
Mm.
Design or default? What do you want to
Mm,
do?
I
And
like
I
that.
love just the acknowledgement of like the process.
Mhm.
Um, I forget the name of the book, but they were talking about how like America has such like a victory mindset where it's like we need to overcome and like fix things like right away. Like we're all about like getting over the problem and then moving on. And I think that like that's kind of like the norm in our culture. And so we hear that a lot with advice and even like coaching and stuff, right? It's like, oh, I got through this. And then we like jump to the end result. And we're like, you just have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You just have to push through. You just have to rally. Like, and it's like, rah, rah, rah. Like, just do better, like be
Yeah.
better. You're like be stronger. You're like okay,
Like if
so
I knew that, I wouldn't need to pay you.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, if you were just better at
I
life,
know, right?
this shouldn't be an issue for you. So now you're also stupid. So, but like,
Yeah.
and I'm exaggerating, but well, in some cases, but like, I just think it's so powerful to like have, like you were saying, Mary, like have these conversations and just be like, it is a process, it
Yeah.
is a journey, and like it actually is hard. It's not because you suck or you're just not
Doing
handling
it
it
wrong.
well.
Exactly. Like
Yeah,
that you're
yeah, like
wrong. Yeah.
so yeah, I agree. I think it's super powerful.
This was such a good conversation. I'm so glad that I changed it up
Yeah.
last minute so we could go there and
Way to
share
listen to that
this.
intuition.
Yep.
Yeah, really. like, change it. Okay, we're doing that. Going with it. Not really sure how it's going to turn out. And look at the wonderful conversation we just had. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Well, do you guys want to tell everybody where they can find you? And I will put it in the show notes for ladies who want to reach out. Maybe you want to share your story. Maybe you want to, use a support system. All three of us are those. And so tell the ladies where they can find you in case they want to reach out and chit chat some more.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna make it easy. Oh, sorry, Mary.
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
jump on it. Trying to make it easy on you. I'm at the Fierce Framework. So that is my podcast. That's my social media. That's my email, honestly. Um, yeah, my link in bio, my Instagram is probably the most well-rounded resource I have right now. So just the Fierce Framework.
I love it. Yeah, and me, Mary Dibble Coaching. So my name, Mary Dibble and Coaching. You can find me there, marydibble.coaching.com, and you can learn about my podcast, about all that I have to offer. I always offer a free call. So if you just need to talk to somebody, like please take advantage of that. Like I love to give and to be there and to support others. So
Mm,
like we said, use it.
use it.
Use
Yes, and mine is igniteddecisions.com. Everything, my email, my podcast, all of my stuff is on my website. And same as Mary, you can schedule a call if you just want to chit chat. And if you're not comfortable talking over the phone, you can email as well, and we'll happily have a conversation with you. So I hope that you enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, learned something new, or got some gems to take away that will boost your week. I release a new episode each week, so make sure to click that follow button to not miss what is coming next. If you love the show or want to share a story, send me a quick message. I love hearing from listeners. If you know someone who needs this episode in their life, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they would love you for it. If you are looking to connect more, check out the show notes for all the social links, my website. I would love to hear how this episode helped you and what you loved about it. If there's a topic you want to hear about, send that too. All right, ladies, now is the time to release your inner power. Are you feeling like you're behind or something's off or you've tried to do something new and you just can't get on that wagon? You just keep falling off? Guess what? You're human and life doesn't follow a perfect timeline. Maybe the year didn't start the way that you hoped. Maybe your goals got buried under real life stuff. But here's the truth. You're allowed to begin again anytime you want, whether it's July, September, December, January. Progress doesn't have a deadline. That's why now is the perfect time to join Empower Her. We meet you where you are, help you build momentum, and remind you that you don't have to do this alone. There's still so much time left. Let's make it count together.